What's up, everybody? My name's Corey. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, then welcome to the channel. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you a Javazon, which is a Javelin Amazon build in Diablo 2. This is a strictly, at least in my personal opinion, a strictly magic find build, as we are pushing on this current build 364% magic find. It is not optimized for magic find. It is kind of moderately balanced. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build, hop into game. If you enjoy this video at any point in time throughout the video, you decide that you like it, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leave a comment in the section down below of what build you would like to see yourself. So first things first, let's look at the stats. Then we'll look at the skill tree, then we'll take a brief look at the gear, and then we will run a real quick pit. That's what it's called, the pit. So first off, how do we put our stats? Well, you put enough strength to put your gear on. You put on enough dexterity to reach 75% block wearing a monarch shield, and then everything else in vitality. Very, very, very easy statting up. So let's look at the skill tree now. First thing we'll look at skill in bow and crossbow. Nothing in there at all because we're not using a bow or crossbow. In the passive and magic skills, you're going to want to put 1 point into everything. This just adds a fair amount of defense to the build, as well as a little bit of offense to the build, and then also unlocks a Valkyrie, which is a powerful decoy, as you'll see out there. The next thing we're going to look at is the Javelin and Spear skills. So the main things that you're going to want to max out first and foremost are going to be Lightning Fury, Power Strike, Lightning Strike. These are the three most important skills in this build, in my opinion. You are going to have to put 1 point into Jab, 1 point into Poison Javelin, 1 point into Plague Javelin to unlock everything. And then you can max out either Charge Strike or Lightning Bolt first, and then the other one just dump the rest of the points into. The other thing that you could do is dump some more points into Valkyrie or more points into defense. That's all personal choice. If you want to make it, you know, more dodgy and weavy, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a fantastic way to build the character. So take your time, download Pluggy, in my opinion. Take your time to kind of play with the build and figure out what works best for you. Now let's look at the gear itself. So the gear for this build is going to be fairly simple, fairly self-explanatory. Most of it's going to make complete sense. First, Annihilus, very standard. Amazon Torch, Geeds for the magic find. Weapon, we have Ethereal Titan's Revenge. This does not need to be ethereal. You can get it non-ethereal. Try to get it as close to 200% enhanced damage as you can. If you can get it ethereal, then it is very smart to do so. It has replenishing stack. I don't know why that was difficult to say, but with the replenishing stack, you don't have to worry about it going away and going and try to repair it, because it just builds back up upon itself. For the helmet, you're going to go with a Harlequin Crest Shaco with an Ist in it to get as much magic find as possible. We have an Enigma Archon plate. You can also go with a Mage plate or even just a breastplate, whatever you decide to put your Enigma into. There also is the option of using the Rune Word Wealth, which is an extremely cheap early game rune word that you can use, or a Scolder's Ire if you happen to get your hands on that. For the amulet, there's many different rare and magic amulets that you can find that will have magic find and Amazon skills. Those would be fantastic. For this, like I said, I'm balancing both damage, kill ability, as well as magic find. So for the amulet, I went with High Lord's Wrath, +1 to skills, enhanced attack speed, lightning damage, and deadly strike. Pretty good. For the shield, we went with a 4-isted Monarch shield. This is for 100% additional magic find plus the full defense. What would you call it? defensive stats, defensive capabilities that you get from wielding a Spirit Monarch, or not a Spirit Monarch, a Monarch. For gloves, we're going to use Dracul's Grasp. You could change this out for a Chance Guards and get even more Magic Find very easily. You can break 400 with just swapping out these with the Chance Guards and then swapping out the Thunder Gods with a Gold Wrap. Very easy to surpass that, or even swapping out one of these rings, the Raven Frost or the Bull Kothos, with a Nagel ring. You can very easily push this build past 400% Magic Find. For the boots, we are using War Traveler's boots for, once again, the Magic Find. In the stash, we're keeping an Insight just in case you get low on mana. You feel like tossing it on your Mercenary, that's fine. Also, it's going to be your primary weapon your Mercenary will use until you can afford to get the Infinity. Infinity is extremely expensive, but extremely beneficial at the same time. It takes those pesky little lightning resistance mobs and removes the lightning resistance that they have to make them killable with lightning damage. So for a lightning source, or a let's say a Trapsin, or a Javazon, or a heavenly whatever it's called on the Paladin, I don't remember what it's called, but there's many different builds that benefit from this Infinity, so this is one of them. For the helmet, we are using an Istid Endarial Visage. Your Mercenary, whatever thing your Mercenary kills, he gets his own Magic Find as well as your Magic Find built on top of it. You and your kills do not benefit from your Mercenary, but your Mercenary does benefit from you. The Mercenary's armor is in Ethereal Fortitude Archon Plate. For the offhand weapon on our character, we're using a CTA for the battle command and the battle order, plus 1 or 2 plus skills, and then also plus life. Spirit Monarch to buff those things up even higher. Let's get buffed. Let's do some running around. Okay, let's get our little our Amazonian friend out, switch back after we get buffed, sitting at almost 3,000 health. If this Monarch was a spirit, it would be 3,000 health. As you can see, we are just kind of walking through things. Now, mind you, this is set to players 1. If it was set to players 8, it would be a little bit slower. You would have to hit them a couple additional times to really get the kill on them, but it still is a very strong build, especially if you're able to keep your Mercenary with you. You'll see those things that were immune to lightning, no longer immune to lightning once my Mercenary got close. So we'll go ahead and just kind of make a straight path right to the second level. The reason that this map is exposed is because, yes, I am playing on single player, so you know, it is what it is. Almost there, as you can see, just melting through everything, and this is a level 85 area, so that's fantastic. You get the same thing when you're out farming pretty much anywhere. You will get a little bit of hold up here and there, but for the most part, on players 1 at least, you're able to just kind of run through everything pretty easily. You'll see all those things immune to lightning. My homie comes over here and then they all die. So Infinity is pretty important to open up where you can and can't farm with this build. Any place that has a bunch of lightning immunes, obviously you're not going to be able to farm with this build until you have been able to acquire that Infinity. Once you are able to acquire the Infinity, then you can quite literally farm anywhere you want to in the game. Let's say you feel like going and killing, I don't know, well, let's go to Trap, shall we? I mean, it just melts the lightning immune, and then it gives you the opportunity to just melt them away. This build is extremely strong. It's very capable. It is an extremely underrated, in my opinion, build. The Amazon is an extremely good character, is an extremely strong character, and I think that more people should be giving the Amazon the time of day, because it really is unfortunate that more people don't play this character. So that's going to be it. That's the build guide. In a nutshell, that is a Javazon. Like I said, there are different changes that you can make on the build, different ways that you can play it differently, and it's all up to you to do so. If you want to play the game completely differently and you want to go with a super high amount of let's say passive abilities, so that when you're building this passive ability or the passive ability tree, you're investing more points into it, you're sacrificing a little bit of damage, sure, but you're able to get so much more defenses out of the build that in a lot of cases I've seen Amazons that are able to stand here and it's just dodging and weaving every single move, like every single attack that's thrown at them. You see this is with the build. I only have 1 point invested in it, and this is, I mean, like the capabilities of it. So just imagine if you were to fully optimize, like what the build would be capable of with full optimization. I mean, it could be pretty impressive. It could be. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, like I said, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. I'm out.